What if I told you that Europe's very first advanced civilization, a society of master builders, artists, and seafarers, was completely wiped from existence before the rest of the world even knew it was there? No warning, no gradual decline, just one of the most catastrophic events in Earth's history, and a civilization that never recovered. This is the story of the Minoans, and it is one of the most dramatic disappearances the ancient world has ever seen. Around 2700 BC, on a small island in the Mediterranean Sea, something remarkable was beginning to take shape. The island was Crete, and the people who called it home were building a civilization that would become unlike anything Europe had ever seen. We call them the Minoans, named after the legendary King Minos of Greek mythology. They were Europe's first truly advanced society. While most of continental Europe was still scattered in small tribal villages, the Minoans were building massive palace complexes, sailing trade routes across the entire Mediterranean, and creating art so breathtaking that it still stuns archaeologists today. Their greatest palace, Knossos, was an architectural marvel, a sprawling complex of over 1,300 rooms. It had running water, flushing toilets, ventilation systems designed to keep the interior cool in summer and warm in winter. Frescoes painted on the walls in vivid colors, images of dolphins, bull-leaping ceremonies, and elegant figures that look surprisingly modern. This was 2000 BC. Let that sink in. They dominated Mediterranean trade for centuries. Their ships carried pottery, olive oil, and timber across thousands of miles of open ocean. Their influence reached Egypt, the Middle East, and deep into continental Europe. The Minoans weren't just surviving, they were thriving. And then came the volcano. Around 1600 BC, one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in human history tore apart a nearby island called Thera, what we now call Santorini. The eruption was catastrophic beyond imagination. Scientists estimate it was 4 times more powerful than the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883, which killed 36,000 people and was heard 3,000 miles away. The explosion sent a column of ash 30 miles into the sky. It triggered massive tsunamis that crashed into the northern coast of Crete, with waves estimated at over 100 feet high. It blanketed the entire eastern Mediterranean in volcanic ash, blocking out the sun and destroying crops for years. The Minoan fleet, the backbone of their entire economy, was almost certainly devastated. Their coastal cities were flooded and buried. Their agricultural lands were poisoned by ashfall. In a single day, the most powerful civilization in Europe had its foundation ripped apart. But here's where it gets complicated, because the Minoans didn't disappear immediately after the eruption. Archaeological evidence shows they continued for another 150 years. They rebuilt, they adapted, they survived. So why did they ultimately vanish? Theory 1. The Mycenaean invasion. While the Minoans were struggling to recover from the Thera eruption, a new power was rising on the Greek mainland. The Mycenaeans, the same Greeks we discussed in our Bronze Age collapse video, were becoming increasingly powerful and aggressive. Around 1450 BC, almost every major Minoan palace on Crete was destroyed simultaneously, burned to the ground. The destruction was so widespread and so sudden that most archaeologists believe it was deliberate, an invasion. The Mycenaeans appear to have swept across Crete, conquered the weakened Minoans, and absorbed what remained of their civilization. The palace of Knossos alone survived, likely because the Mycenaeans kept it as their administrative center. Within a generation, the Minoan culture, language, and identity had been almost completely replaced by Mycenaean Greek culture. Theory 2. Internal collapse. Some historians argue there was no invasion. Instead, they suggest the volcanic eruption triggered a chain reaction of internal problems, economic collapse, food shortages, social unrest, that caused Minoan society to tear itself apart from the inside. When trade networks collapse and people are starving, civilizations don't always fall to outside enemies. Sometimes they fall to each other. Theory 3. The Atlantis connection. Here's where it gets truly fascinating. Around 360 BC, over 1,000 years after the Minoans disappeared, the Greek philosopher Plato wrote about a legendary civilization called Atlantis, a powerful, advanced island nation that sank beneath the ocean in a single catastrophic day and night. Many historians and archaeologists now believe Plato's Atlantis was inspired by the real destruction of the Minoan civilization and the volcanic collapse of Thera. Think about it. An advanced island civilization, destroyed by a catastrophic natural event, sinking beneath the waves, vanishing from history. The details match almost perfectly. If this theory is correct, then Atlantis was never a myth. It was a memory, a story passed down through generations about a real civilization that really did vanish, the Minoans of Crete. What makes the Minoan story so haunting is how close they came to surviving. They built one of the ancient world's greatest civilizations. They created art that still moves people to tears thousands of years later. They engineered buildings with technology that wouldn't reappear in Europe for another 1,000 years. But they couldn't survive the combination of a supervolcano, a collapsing economy, and aggressive neighbors waiting to take advantage of their weakness. Sound familiar? A great civilization, environmental catastrophe, economic collapse, outside forces moving in for the kill. We have seen this pattern before. We covered it with Ugarit, we covered it with the Indus Valley, and we will keep seeing it. Because history has a way of repeating itself, and the civilizations that forget that lesson are the ones that disappear. What do you think really destroyed the Minoans? Was it the volcano, the Mycenaeans, or something else entirely? Drop your theory in the comments. I read every single one. And if this series is making you see history differently, subscribe to Blacks and Archives. Episode 4 is coming, and trust me, you don't want to miss it.